Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, one thing I'd just like you to do for me, if you don't mind, remember to like this video, subscribe, and press notifications. Okay, so what we're going to talk about this morning are little Jak and Lily Sullivan. We've been talking about them for quite a long time now. These two children went missing on May the 2nd this year, 2025. May the 2nd, and we're now on the 18th of November. And still we seem to be no further on knowing what happened to these children, which is bad enough just for the public in general, but imagine how their families must feel. So the reason that I'm doing this video today is over the weekend, a volunteer organisation went out to search for Jak and Lily. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the results from that search. Now, although, there have been findings, did find things. We're going to look at what they found. And although the police are saying these findings are not of any significance, anyway, we're just going to talk about it. The thing is, they wanted to do this search. So this has happened in Nova Scotia, over in Canada, a very remote property. Not as remote as the one that Gus Lamont has gone missing from in Australia, but still reasonably remote, surrounded by woodland. They were playing outside apparently 1 minute, and then the next minute they were gone. That's basically what happened. Good morning, Tracy. I think it might be just you and me at the moment. It's a little bit early, isn't it, for a lot of my followers? I know, and then not for others. So it's there's never a right time to do a live. Well, there is a right time to do a live, but unfortunately, the right time to do a live is normally quite late at night in Spain. So I'm normally too tired. Because the thing is, when I want to talk about these cases, sorry, just let me have some coffee. I do like to give them my full attention. Sometimes at night, I'm not really a night person, so I'm not really on the ball. But anyway, when you're tired, it's difficult, to do. And these cases are serious and they need discussing seriously, don't they? So this search, this has not been a search by the police. This is a search done by volunteers, including friends and family, including, I noticed that Jak and Lily's paternal grandma was there, because Jak and Lily's mum and their paternal dad, their biological dad, are separated, and Malaya, their mum, was living, of course, with Daniel Martel. Let's have a look at a photo of them. I've got photos somewhere. Have I thought I did have a photo somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe I had to move it to put some other photos up. Anyway, never mind. We'll be seeing photos of them as we go along. There are photos. Let's put the thumbnail up. Oh, actually, I can put this one up. So this is Daniel, their stepdad, I suppose, at the time. They've split up now, so they're not together anymore. This is their biological mum, Malaya, very young. They're both in their 20s. And they also have a baby together, Meadow. So anyway, apparently when these children went missing, Daniel and Malaya were in bed with the baby, just sort of having a lie-in. Jak and Lily had been, was supposedly ill. And so Malaya had supposedly, again, I have to just say supposedly, because I'm sure maybe the police know the truth of all this, but this is what we're led to believe. The school was notified that the children weren't well and they weren't coming in, but they were playing outside apparently, though I think Daniel Martel said the children were playing in the trailer where they live, and they must have gone outside, and just suddenly they noticed they couldn't hear them in the kitchen anymore. So I'm not saying that they had permission to go outside, but they were outside apparently. Well, they must have gone outside to disappear, unless somebody took them out, of course. And also on that property lives Daniel's mum, Janie. And also, it's something that's not been talked about much. Daniel's brother lives on that property as well, which I've not been able to find out much about him. You know, it's a rural property, but it's got various trailers on it. So I don't know much about Daniel's brother, but from what I can gather, he was living there too. So, yeah, I need to do a bit. I haven't had time to investigate properly. Oh, here, yeah. Justin Martel. He lives on the property too. Let's have a look at this article. This is an old article that mentions his brother. Oh, it's behind a paywall, so I can't look at it, but there you go. To continue reading, I have to subscribe. Won't be doing that. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, I need to look into that more about his brother. So this is the scenario. So you've got the grandma, well, the step grandma, Daniel's mum. It's her property. She lives there in a trailer. And you've got Daniel, Malaya, and all the children. And then also Daniel's brother, I think, living on the same property. So that was the situation. But despite all those adults being on that property, these two children disappeared into thin air. And the police are saying that they're not ruling anything out. It's one of them, isn't it? Nobody's a suspect, an official suspect. Lie detectors have been done and people supposedly have passed them. There's no evidence of the family, doing anything to these children. But the police are not ruling anything out. That's sort of where we are. We don't know if the police know more than they're telling. A piece of Lily's blanket apparently was found on a bush. A boot print was found, similar to the Gus Lamont case. Just a boot print, just in the middle of nowhere. So it's just as mysterious as the Gus Lamont case over there in Australia, in Yunta. So loads of searches have been done. The cadaver dogs have been out there. Many searches by volunteers and the police, and nothing really of any consequence has been found. So this volunteer organisation decided to do a search over the weekend because, of course, it's coming to winter now. Once the snows come in, we can see there Jak and Lilly perhaps last year playing in the snow. It'd be difficult to search, and then it'd be a question of waiting until springtime before there can be another search. So they decided to do this last minute search. And that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at what happened in the search. Although the full update on the search is tomorrow. But there have been, the people from the organisers of the search have been talking. So that's what we're going to look at. Oh, you're getting snow track. Well, do you know what? Snow is so beautiful, isn't it? All you snowflakes out there will know that. I mean, it is beautiful. You individual snowflakes. The problem with snow is when it turns to slush, isn't it? And when it's got ice underneath, and that's when it's sort of not so beautiful anymore, is it? because it's dangerous, plain dangerous. So let's have a look at what the guy, a video of what the guy who organised the search has to say. So this is CBS News Nova Scotia, and they had an interview with, let's see, what's his name, the guy. So the search for 2 missing Nova Scotia children, or let me subscribe there actually, was organised by a non-profit organisation based in Ontario. Please Bring Me Home has helped locate more than 50 missing people since 2018. And Nick Oldreeve, the executive director of the group, says this was one of the most difficult searches he's been involved with. Lilly and Jak Sullivan haven't been seen since May the 2nd, when they disappeared from their home in Lansdowne. And so this is an interview with the CBS News. So I hope they don't copyright me, but sometimes they do. But anyway, it's an interesting.
And the fact that it's found in the water, downriver, yeah, it's just strange. It's strange.
Yeah, now that seems to be the main item of interest that's been found. This box was found in the river, and it's got documents in it, and he goes on to say, it's got names in it, but we can't say what they are, but you see the names on this video.
And the fact that it's found in the water, downriver, yeah, it's just strange. It's strange. So we're organizing a search for Jak and Lilly Sullivan. We are relying on community members to come and join those efforts. We're going to offer like a little bit of shooting from the hip training on what.
So he's the director. This is Nick Oldreeve, who's the executive director of this Please Bring Me Home voluntary organisation. And yeah, they have been successful in finding missing people. So, sometimes the thing is the police resources, we know from all the cases that we talk about, they go out there, they search for so long, then they call off or scale down the search because, there's always other things going on, aren't there? So it's good for these organisations, because it's searching in these sort of areas, and we'll see in a minute the sort of area that's being searched. I mean, it's very difficult terrain. It's easy to miss things, the first time around.
Like a little bit of shooting from the hip training on walking along looking for evidence. We've had about 40 people volunteer, but overnight you've had some people drop out. So I would be over the moon if 30 people showed up. Your safety does come first. We are looking for the kids, but your safety comes first. I would say mostly family and friends.
Now, this is Belinda, isn't it? That she is the the paternal grandma. She is Jak and Lily's grandma. She is the mother of their biological father. She had not seen these children for 2 years. Because I think since Malaya got with Daniel, whatever the circumstances or reasons, it seems like when Malaya got with Daniel, then the relationship sort of broke down, if you like, between Malaya and Belinda, maybe, I don't know. But apparently it's been 2 years since she's seen the children. When she heard they were missing, she went straight up there. I don't know where the father is. Maybe he's working. Maybe he's got other things going. I don't know if Daniel's there at the search. I don't think Malaya will be there. And, of course, Malaya's got a baby to look after as well. And, I can't imagine what state Malaya's in, really. Whatever's happened, it's a very traumatic event, isn't it, for 2 of your children to go missing. So about 30 people he was saying that he was hoping for, which is a small number, isn't it, really? But sometimes it's a remote area, You know, it's not a place accessible to a lot of people. You know, like someone like me, I think I would really struggle to get around searching there because, you know, I think you'd have to be quite young and fit, really, wouldn't you, to be very productive in these searches. Because, you know, you don't want to be holding people back or making people worried if you're okay. You know, everybody will be thinking, oh my God, where's Vicky? Is she okay? They probably have to come and rescue me. So I've probably tripped up somewhere or whatever. But so, yeah, it's a shame there weren't more people on this search. I'm surprised there weren't, really. Maybe sometimes people just don't like to put themselves forward because they don't like people to think they're being nosy or this, that, or the other. But, you know, the more the merrier, really, isn't it? Looks like it's pretty cold if you look at the kit they've got on, you know, the clothes that they're wearing. They're dressed up pretty warm and that. So maybe that's put people off. You know, we're coming into the winter, as I say, so maybe the conditions.
And then there's just like concerned members of the community that wanted to get involved and help search. And this is their opportunity to get that. We were not going to get involved. We were trying to stay far away from this because we felt that the RCMP were heavily involved. Search and rescue was heavily involved. They were doing a bang up job from what we could see from the outside looking in. And, you know, as soon as you start having conversations with the family, when any family member fills out an intake with please bring me home, we always get involved in some capacity. We never say no. Of course, it's sad we're going to search for 2 missing kids, but I think that the community and the family coming together to do this effort and a crew coming from Ontario is hopefully overpowering that somberness.
Okay, Mikey, we're going. You guys sit.
You know, you just cannot imagine that the children will have gone into these areas. But, you know, who knows? I mean, they've got to be searched. I would imagine that when this happened in May, there was probably a lot more foliage, was there? You know, now we're going into the winter, sort of the winter look, if you like. It would have probably been quite different in May. I just think it would have been hard for these children to get into these woods. So there's water as well. So just to make the search even more complicated, not only are we dealing with the wood searches, and there's water searches as well.
Can you describe how the day's been going so far?
See how difficult that is. So you've got to be pretty physically fit to be able to search effectively through these areas.
It's been a wee bit stressful. Just trying to manage from the outside to make sure that the searchers are safe, and there's 6 groups. So it's a lot of moving around and making sure that they're okay. Like I've had to get 2 people out who needed to go out because it was too much for them. You know, so that's been a little bit difficult to manage.
Yeah. So he's had to rescue 2 people already. That'd be me. Honestly, I would love to volunteer for help in some. I mean, obviously I'm too far away from there, but if I was close, but you know, you just know you'd be a liability. So maybe I could go and just give out sandwiches and coffee and things. You know, I suppose you can always help in some way.
And then just with the cell service and the walkie-talkies not working properly, it's been really difficult. But I know where everybody is now, and we've only got a couple hours left of sunlight, so
I know where everyone is now. So there's obviously been times he hasn't known where everybody is. And so saying the walkie-talkies weren't working properly, the cell phone service is rubbish. You know, these are all challenges, aren't they? You know, and these volunteers are exactly that. Volunteers are not professional searchers. I'm sure there's some people in there that have done, you know, it won't be their first rodeo, and then there'll be other people who are complete beginners, you know, and but all hands on deck. And you just look at that, even just that one, you've got the water, you've got the trees, you feel like it's like literally looking for a needle in the haystack. So obviously they're looking for items, but you know, to not, you know, don't mean to be brutal, but they are looking for little bodies as well. You know, have Jack and Lily wandered off and come to some accident? You know, you're not going to find Jack and Lily alive there. You know, from the 2nd of May, a 4-year-old who, well, he's now 5, Jack, he's had a birthday while he's been missing, and a 6-year-old are not going to have survived in that terrain. You know, they're just not. I mean, that, you know, I'm trying to, you know, because you don't like to be negative, but of course they can't have done. They cannot have survived if they are there. So they are, if they're looking for anything there, they're looking obviously for clues, but also they may come up against a body, 2 little bodies, which would, you know, it's horrible, but it would be at least an answer to what's happened to these children. So what else could have happened to them?
We're ahead of the game. There has been some items located that would initially be items of interest. So it looked to be like a boy's t-shirt we had located. We sent that to the RCMP. They're going to connect with family to see if it appears familiar. At this time, it doesn't appear to be a familiar shirt.
Yeah, they found a t-shirt, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the family. It's this box that they found that seems the most likely thing.
We found like a box with
this box,
some people's names in it that are interesting that we're going to turn over to the RCMP.
Yeah. Now, he says, oh, we can't mention these names. But look, you can see clearly there it says Daniel Martel. May the 3rd, left a 2012 something. Took nothing. So it's got Daniel Martel's name in it for whatever reason. Doesn't mean to say it's anything to do with Daniel. But there's his name as clear as anything. So what is that box and why is it in the river?
MP. They're actually on duty today, so just in the event that we do find something. And they were very interested in the box that we found with the certain names in it that I can't say, but
yeah, he says I can't say the names, but he showed them as clear as day.
And they were very interested in the box on duty today, so just in the event we're going to turn over to the RCMP.
Sure. He says I can't mention the names, but you know, is that some sort of wind up or what? I mean, I can't mention the names, but then he's shown a photo of it as clear as anything of Daniel's name. Then he's got something 25th of December. What does that say? Cool something. Merry Christmas, Daniel Martel, May the 3rd. 14. Is that 2014? I mean, what is that? So, anyway, it's interesting.
They're actually on duty today, so just in the event that we do find something. And they were very interested in the box that we found with the certain names in it that I can't say, but they're interested in that. And the fact that it's found in the water, downriver, and yeah.
There's a lot he wants to say, you feel like, don't you? And he's weighing up what he can say and what he can't say. Because he at the end of the day, he's an organisation that wants to be on good terms with the police, so the police probably won't be happy, I don't think, unless they've authorised him showing that name there. They're not going to be happy with that, are they? And if you were Daniel, would you be happy with that? Shouldn't really have been shown that if there's a criminal case ever going to come up.
It's just strange. We're going to go and just check in with 2 of the search teams. This is a rickety road we're going to be going down to reach them, though. Likely going to be picking up 2 of them to come back to vehicles so that they can come and the rest of them can get picked up.
I'm good. Anyone want out of this? Good.
Okay. So just continue on then. So you guys are going to go to the pipeline, or sorry, it is the pipeline trail, and then walk on the opposite side of the woods. It's
Now, the pipeline trail, I think that was where the boot print was found, wasn't it? One boot print. It just seems very strange to me. But anyway, so he's going there, he's asking them, are they ready to go back or are they happy to carry on? They want to carry on.
a pretty thick trail. And then I guess just follow along the water. Do you guys think, like, see what time you're at when you get to the water though? Because you'll see you're still.
Yeah, I got you.
You're got a ways up here to go and down there. So, and I want to start really getting people out by 4.
Yeah. What time is it now?
2. Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah, so of course the days are shorter now. So, back in May when it first happened, the days will have been longer. The searches would have been able to go on longer. Now he wants them all back in by 4 because it'd probably be going dark very shortly after that. They've got 2 hours to go. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But they wanted to do this last search because there won't be any more searches now. I don't think even by the police really, unless they get some specific information. There won't be any searches now until the spring. Which apparently is the best time to search because, of course, the trees and everything by then, it's the barrenest time, maybe the easiest time to look for things.
This, by far, has been the most difficult to manage during the search because you're having to check in with each team every 30 minutes and things come up. You have to go and talk to property owners who are upset that we're there.
I will have you charged for
Do it.
This has been by far one of the more difficult ones to manage from a safety.
So property owners getting annoyed with them and that, I don't know how you would feel. I mean, surely when you know that Jak and Lilly have gone missing, and you wouldn't be against people coming on your property and searching for 2 little children. But, we've seen that in the Gus Lamont case as well, haven't we, with Gus's, one of Gus's grandmas getting angry. But that was with a reporter, to be fair. That was a reporter trying to get a story. These are people that are trying to search. Though the same with Gus's family, they don't want anyone helping in the search, do they? Oh God, I doubt if they'd let anyone on their property to search, except the police, of course. Yeah, it's anyway, I don't know. I don't know I don't know who that person was, which neighbour it was, because there are neighbours there that say they heard cars coming and going from the property, but the police have said that they have no corroborating evidence of that. So, were there cars coming and going or not? It's like everything about this case is a complete mystery.
Safety perspective. Now that I've been here, I'm even in my own mind trying to comprehend how it can be possible that these kids wandered off and they haven't been found, especially after being in there and seeing all the flagging tape and hearing from all the property owners that we spoke with.
I don't think they wandered off. They can't have wandered off. Somebody took them or something happened to them. How can they have wandered off into those woods? I mean, they're not silly. They had a den, didn't they, in the woods, and that'll have been searched thoroughly, but I can't see that these children wandered off into that sort of environment. But I don't know what happened to them.
What the searching has been done. I'm having a really hard time fathoming that probability now that I've seen it for myself.
And what makes you say that?
Many things, but I think most importantly it is the amount of effort that search and rescue has put forward to try and find these kids and how quick they were able to start that process. I just find it more unlikely by the minute today that they had wandered. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just I after seeing it, I can't understand how they wouldn't have been found that first day. We're not stopping. We have to stop because winter's approaching, and we will come back in springtime and do a search, dependent on what our CEP's involvement in springtime will be. So,
Yeah.
and who knows what'll be learned throughout the winter.
Well, who knows what'll have happened by springtime? I mean, maybe there'll be some progress. Hi, Daniel. Maybe there'll be have been some progress by then in the investigation, because you just, in the end, you just cannot believe that all these children, and I say all these, and we've got Summer Wells, we've got Sebastian Rogers, Madeline McCann, you've got Gus Lamont over in Australia, you've got William Tyrrell, the guy in the little boy in the Spider-Man pajamas, and Jak and Lilly. How can children just disappear? How can they? You think, my God, what? You just you can't get your head around it.
When the families ask for help, you can't really say no, whether it's a current case or whatever. We have the capacity to do it. We shot from the hip here and planned this in 2 weeks, and we were able to do it, and we were able to clear many kilometers just by asking for locals to come help. So it can certainly be done, and we're in it until they're found.
Let's have a look at
a last-ditch effort before winter hits for any sign of 5-year-old Jak Sullivan and his 6-year-old sister Lilly. These volunteers split into 6 groups and spent a day in the woods of Lansdowne, the rural Nova Scotia community where the siblings were reported missing on the morning of May.
And let's just have a look at this. So is this the part of the property where Jak and Lilly lived? So it's, you can see it's sort of quite unkempt, sorry, but it is. You've got the woods all around, which of course now all the leaves have fallen. So I think Jak and Lilly were in this area, and I'm not sure which of these is Janie's place where she lives, and then where was Daniel's brother living? So all those adults there. I mean, you just think you've got a property with 4 adults. Malaya, Daniel, his brother, and his mum, and these children disappeared from right under their noses. Nobody saw them. Janie said she heard them, didn't she, that morning, though she did not say she saw them. I don't know about Daniel's brother. Where was he? Was he in bed? Was he around? Just seems inconceivable that 2 children could vanish from a place where there were 4 adults.
Second, the nonprofit group Please Bring Me Home made the trip from Ontario to coordinate people on the ground.
So this will be our side. We're going to follow it way down. Eventually, we're going to turn the river and we follow it up past Lansdowne Lake.
About 30 people volunteered to take part in this search, most of them family and friends, all coming together in the hopes of finding any clue that will lead them to Jak and Lilly.
It's sad, very sad, but it's been 6 months. And
so I think Cheryl Robinson, this one of these 2 girls, I think it might be this one, is a friend of Malaya, a family, an old friend of Malaya. So I say Malaya's not there. Well, she's got a baby, but also, she's been conspicuous by her absence, actually, hasn't she, Malaya? Don't know if Daniel went along to help or not.
we need some type of closure to this case.
One focus, the area where a drone detected 2 heat sources late on May 2nd, just before midnight.
One appears like it could be small object sitting, just 2 heat signatures sitting close together near the water.
RCMP says an officer...
Oh, I didn't know about that. So a drone picked up 2 heat sources together near the water. This was back in May. Maybe they did wander off. Oh.
Followed up, found nothing, and determined it was likely a bear. But this group wanted to be certain.
I'm not sure, but it may or may not be the drone hit where the infrared sensors picked up. Just because I see a line coming down from up here and leads right down to our water. I'm not sure. I've got to confirm it later on. but we're just going to take note of it and do a special.
Yeah, I suppose, there's animals out there. So just because there was a heat source or two heat sources, didn't they say two small heat sources? Well, bears aren't small, are they, to be fair? So I doubt if it was a bear, but of course it could be any animal. Let's just watch that again.
The water.
RCMP says an officer followed up, found
Sitting, just two heat signatures sitting close together near the water.
Two heat signatures sitting close together near the water. Let's listen to that again. That's the first time I've ever seen that, to be honest.
Like it could be small object sitting, just two heat signatures sitting close together near the water.
RCMP says an officer followed up, found nothing, and determined it was likely a bear. But this group wanted to be certain.
I'm not sure, but it may or may not be the drone hit where the infrared sensors picked up, just because I see a line coming down from up here and leads right down to our water. I'm not sure. I've got to confirm it later on, but we're just going to take note of it and do a special little search around here, especially just in case it is something.
Nothing was found in that specific area, but teams did find a few items of interest.
And it looks like it has like underwear burnt, like it's been burned, and it's the t-shirts. So it's a unique design. So we took a picture, we sent it to the RCMP. They then spoke to family and they said that it's not something they recognize.
Volunteers also came upon a child's bicycle, a blue blanket, and an old geocaching kit with the children's stepfather's name in it.
That's why it's so important to relook.
There you go. Yeah. What did they call that? An old
blanket and an old geocaching kit with the children's
An old geocaching kit with the stepfather's name in it. Oh, so they're saying openly here about the name. What did she call it? Anybody, any idea what that is? A geocaching
bicycle, a blue blanket, and an old geocaching kit with the children's
geocaching kit. I don't even know what that is.
Stepfather's name in it.
That's why it's so important to relook, like especially before snowfall, and have a third party come and just take a peek. Not that we're no better than anybody else. It's just having a third party come look is so important.
But at times it got tense. One property owner refused entry where there are signs for no trespassing.
Why are you trying to stop us from finding them?
You have what?
We weren't in the
Two
field.
very dangerous animals.
What animals are they?
Two rams.
A roller coaster of emotions for everyone involved, especially those who love Lilly and Jak.
It'd be discouraging if none of it means anything. So I'm really hoping that something has turned up, evidence of something. Anything will do.
I do feel disappointed too. The main output I was looking for was finding the kids, and that's not what happened today. I do feel like we have more questions, especially with finding things throughout the woods.
The RCMP says none of the items found are relevant to the investigation, but with everyone feeling unsettled, the volunteer group now plans to bring in cadaver dogs to do continued targeted searches this week. Angela McIver, CBC News, Lansdowne.
So they're coming back with cadaver dogs before the winter again. Okay, who did she say was coming back to do that? Let's just listen again.
Angela McIver, CBC News, Lansdowne. Investigation, but with everyone feeling unsettled, the volunteer group now plans to bring in cadaver dogs to do continued targeted searches this week.
The volunteer group bringing in cadaver dogs. So I thought that was going to be the last search before the winter, but apparently not. So they're going to come back in with dogs. I mean, dogs are always useful, of course, aren't they? So I just wanted to give you an update on what had or hadn't been found. I think there's going to be more updates tomorrow about it. Where are these two little babies? Where are they? Bless them. You know, it doesn't feel positive, does it? Unless, as always, because you know, some people think that the children were taken away, like to, you know, take them away from Child Protective Services or away from Daniel Martel, etc. I don't know. I just don't know. You know, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes, what investigations, if any, and what information, more information, if any, the police have. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. Might be sooner than you think. And until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for caring about these two. And please remember to like and subscribe. And not only like and subscribe, press notifications if you want to be notified of press the little bell, and then you'll get notified of any updates that are coming out. So thank you so much. I'm just going to put a little candle for each of them. Just let's hope there's some news sometime. So thank you for watching. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, as always, may your God go with you. Thank you. Bye.